Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Hey, everybody. You know what time it is? I know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Syntax Live. I hope you guys are doing really good. I hope you liked that little intro that was there, because I'm going to play you guys what it was, the whole thing. Hopefully, if it plays, I'm going to show you the entire thing as what I had planned. But unfortunately, sometimes this system doesn't like me doing what I want to do. So that being said, we already got our startup out of the way, and I see a whole bunch of folks in here. Okay, looks like a few people have complained about the time change. I don't. It's still standard 18:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we are just jump ahead. So yeah, that was the confusion. Okay, let's jump right into it. First things first. Thank you everybody for being here. As I wonder, is everybody here?
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Yo!
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Keep firing, assholes!
Oh, yeah, I look like a military dad. You're half right. I couldn't get a woman drunk enough to go out with me. You really think I'm married or have any kids? Yeah, right. Anyways, first things first, again, thanks everybody for being here. And I'm just going to jump into what we had at so far on my ship. And hopefully you guys are all caught up on this. I just want to go over a few of the comments, just like we always do. First things first. Yes, somebody said the joke about 0G Punani. I'm sorry, dude. That was hilarious. I just thought about it and realizing bouncing off the walls was just, yeah. I almost had to redo it. And
hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
And I have to pause for a second because I see a $10 super chat from MTF Guard, and he's saying,
For the Emperor!
He says, yo, hits the Spaceball salute. Sent a lot of videos over the past week. Hope you enjoyed them. And I hope you saw my message in the Discord about making an edit of one of them to make it funnier. Yes, I saw it. Yes, I cracked up. Yeah. And also there was a lot of things on there and we're going to talk about it later, a little heads up on how to do a certain other series I'm working on. But yeah, I got as far as the videos, okay, I only received 2 this week for some reason, just 2, and that was it. So, but thank you again, Guard. Let me write this down before I freaking forget, because my brain is all over the place today. I've been nonstop, guys, which is why tonight, unfortunately, you don't get part 15 of my ship. I didn't have, enough time to sit down and write it. However, we do have a video dropping tonight. As you guys know, I will be every once in a while compiling all the videos on one series together, and you'll actually see where it says series complete right next to the name. Now, if for some reason a certain as in our lovely naval medic, which is a corpsman, is listening, this one's for you, man. I was thinking, which one would fit for the channel, and I'm like, here you go. It's the one called Angels, and I'm sure you guys remember that one. And no, it's not the Battle Angels. That's a whole different one, which we're going to get into, and I'm going to actually write myself a note right there to make sure I touch on that subject. Now, before I get sidetracked down this rabbit hole any further, I'm going to get back to my ship. Now, the whole thing about I'm scare-oused, which, by the way, I got to put that on the soundboard, because today I just put, I'm looking at
Death! By snoo!
I just had to put that on my soundboard, man. I had to. Okay. But yeah, the captain is very scare-oused, especially when somebody's that pent up and they're not exactly human and they have no freaking limits. And by the way, same guy, dude, Ready Whip and chocolate syrup. What are you going to do? Use that as fuel for all the repetitions and stuff while you give yourself diabetes? Come on, man. Or hold on. Come on, man. All right. Now, as you guys can see from the thumbnail, and I've gotten a whole lot from this series, everybody's been waiting for Christine to get her body. There's reasons why I was waiting, and it was listed in there. If for some reason I wasn't clear, you guys got to let me know when I fuck up. So if I wasn't clear on why they had to wait so long and why such equipment was needed so bad, yeah. Also, yes, that ship does live up to the name Destroyer now. That being said, as far as space combat goes, it is not a full-on destroyer for one simple reason. His ship, this one they're talking about, has no keel-mounted or fixed weapon systems. Okay? They're strictly turreted systems. Because of that, it is true. It is a destroyer, but it's not one as in purpose-built true destroyer. It was not set for that. Instead of having a keel-mounted weapon system, he has cargo bays. Don't forget that this guy is going to be traveling and actually delivering a lot of shit. So that's kind of the point. And who is that? It's Erica. As she comes in with $10 super chat with a saying, thank you so much. Hey, that's my line. And that's for all you guys. Everybody who helps out is send the super chat, super thanks and stuff like that. That is my line. Thank you guys so much, because I know money, especially now with all the shit that's going around the world right now, it's going to be getting really tight. I appreciate it. I'm not begging for it, but I do appreciate it. Okay. Now I'm going to answer this one right here. It came up. Lena says, how big is that destroyer? All right. The average size of a hay barn is approximately large enough to fit in a semi-trailer, which is 53 feet, which means that it's approximately 60 feet long. The original ship was, again, about that long. It could fit in, and like I said, it could barely close the doors. So you're looking at anywhere from 60 to 70 feet in length. The new destroyer fits around that. In actuality, the original ship, it's kind of like a nesting doll. It's inside, and it's about 4 or 5 times larger because it has to wrap around the original ship plus have enough room for all the extra stuff. So you're looking at approximately 300 to 320 feet long by about maybe 50, 60 feet wide, or more like 70 feet wide. Now you got to remember, a lot of that is dead space. Okay. When he bought it, it was stripped down to its bare essentials. All he needed was the actual body and the engine. He was going to put everything else he wanted in there because he wanted to pick and choose where he was going to get this, that, and the other thing. But as far as space destroyers go, that's actually about average size. It's not crazy. It's not a crazy size for that. Reason being is when you start adding in all the personnel, all you need to keep the personnel going, plus the fact that you got a shit ton of weapon systems on you, the only corner you're cutting on a destroyer is you don't have a lot of armor, which is why they are the beer cans, if I remember you guys calling them that. So yeah, that's about average for a destroyer. They get bigger, okay? Above destroyers and frigates in space science fiction are about the same size. The next size is cruiser, and then it goes up to battleship, dreadnought, carrier, Titan. Anyways, you guys are getting me down the rabbit hole again. I'm down the rabbit hole. Ah! Okay, I'm back. Now, one last thing. Yes, we had an Aussie, somebody from Australia, actually get the reference where the guy was talking about MREs, and somebody else said, yes, this is exactly how we think. MREs, meals rejected by the enemy. And there was the whole thing. You guys eat that? You can live on it, but it tastes like dung. actually, I did that. I didn't actually say shit because I got to be careful how many times on a uploaded video I curse. And a lot of people that listen to this don't like it when you curse. I mean, it is what it is. Okay. Okay. Destroyer at 300 feet is about 270 meters, if I remember correctly. That's about how long it is. And about, so I don't have the calculations in front of me. 60 feet across would be 20 meters ish. So it's fairly bulbous. Anyways, as far as the Crocodile Dundee, yes, that was put in there specifically. And yeah, only one person got it. So I'm going to pull back out of here. Yeah, I'm going to pull out. Yeah, just it goes with the rest of the story there. I'm going to pull out. Yeah. And I'm going to, never mind. You know what? And right here, what extinct species was, I actually, right, that's on the screen. This is what it originally was. What is out there hunting us? That was originally supposed to be the name of this story, but as I was recording, I was like, that's not going to work. So I decided to use extinct species. Now, there was a little confusion because I didn't name the critters specifically. Remember, these are non-humans that were looking at it. So they had to figure out what in the flying fuckle knuckles they're looking at. And what they were looking at was something very similar to a velociraptor, or quite literally one, and a saber-toothed tiger. Okay, he called them Denvers, the dinosaurs, because anybody who's lived through the 80s know Denver the Last Dinosaur, and he was hoping it was the last one he'd ever see. And then, of course, Mungo like candy, and one person, just one of you guys figured out that was from Blazing Saddles, one of the greatest freaking satire movies ever fucking made. So, yeah, that's where that comes from. But yeah, it's just, as soon as I thought of that line, it's like, I got to put this in here. I hadn't even got to that point yet. And I'm just like, I actually have the notes somewhere. They're behind me somewhere, but I literally have in big notes, Blazing Saddles, Mongo. I had to put that in. So, excuse me, I had to take a drink. Somebody put in at the end of this, and I'm hesitant to do this, guys. You can let me know if you want me to extend on this, because this caught a lot of traction. This one here. And I put a quote here: hidden in deep space, vast hidden forges work, waiting for their moment for humanity's return. I don't know. Would that be? I don't know. I've seen these happen before, and I don't want to be too cliche, guys. If you guys want a cliche, I'm sure you guys will listen to the AI slag, and that no, we don't do AI slag here. The closest I get is the image search. If this is AI, I didn't make it. I just looked up an image search, and that's it. All right. There wasn't a whole bunch as far as comments on this. It just got a lot of views. And again, thank you. Thank you, everybody who's sharing it. Thank you even more for hyping and all that other fun stuff. I very, 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 very much appreciate it. As I sit here on the deck and I realize I'm blocking one of the turrets. And you know how we humans love turrets. All right, moving on to the next one. Let me click on here. Something Familiar, Part 20. Well, I'm hoping that I got the feeling across, because as I will admit, as I was writing that with Rakashin, which by the way is Rakashin, if you don't remember, that name is actually from a dragon that was listed here on Earth. That's not a name I chose. That was a name I found. It's kind of a hat tip to actual dragons. Anyway. But as I was doing his return there, I wanted to get as much feeling as I could. Okay, I wanted that scene to actually reach out, grab you by the dangly bits and twist and squeeze, while at the same time reaching up your ass, grabbing your heart and kind of giving that a tug. You know, I'm hoping I got that across, guys. I really do. I kind of wish I was a better voice actor, but I got my limits. Not to mention, I wanted to get this out within a certain time period. But you guys got to let me know if I hit the points well enough so I can make it better for you guys. Now, somebody, hold on. Who do I hear? Just showed up here. We got Steve. Hey, Steve Ewig is here. Sorry, Ewig, if I remember correctly. How you supposed to? I keep mispronouncing it, man. Don't kill me. Anyway, he comes in with a $20 super star, I guess. Thank you very much, Steve. He didn't have any comments, so I'm not going to hang too long, but very much appreciated. And I don't know if you were listening before, but the video dropping tonight, I have a feeling since you more recently joined the channel, it might be up your alley. It's an older story, but I compiled it into a full-on, all the parts are there. And I only set it up. And guys, just so you know, if it says complete series, do not expect them to start throwing random commercials in there. I set when the commercials are going to be on a compiled series. It's literally right between whichever chapter. So don't think that too much. But anyway, I believe that story is going to be right up your alley, Steve. It's called Angels. And no, it's not Battle Angels. We're going to go into that later. So backing up, beep. Beep, beep. Okay. Somebody put in the comment section for something familiar that this was a happy family reunion. Well, you're half right. It was a family reunion, but it wasn't super happy. I don't forget, he had not 2, but 3 summons, as in 3 familiars that he had, one of which is gone. Okay. The guy took a pulse weapon to the heart, and guess where his familiar was holding up? Don't forget that was one of the most, that's when the whole thing changed from being all wholesome and shit to being holy fuck nuts, this is crazy. Which was kind of the point. That was supposed to be another one that kind of shoved something up your ass and made it hurt. So anyways, yeah, so it was a family reunion, but he didn't get Blaze. Steve, I'm glad it got you because I wasn't sure if it came across right. So anyways, just to make the point that just like a lot of the Batman comics and animated series, when they're done right, they're not all happy endings. They're, it's accomplished, but sometimes it is what it is. Alan, you're gonna have to go back and actually go through it. I actually do a full explanation why, because Blaze was ethereal. That there's some rules he's got to follow. All right. Before I get pulled off into the chat box here. Somebody asked if the snorty voice that I was doing was damaging my throat. As long as it doesn't make me snore, I'm fine. So don't worry about that. And some of it was, where is it? Some of it was also
changed by the
the soundboard that I got. And at least I didn't change, a Minotaur
into something like this. I mean, you would think that the Minotaur just got kicked in the balls by steel-toed boots.
Although if somebody does get tagged that way and they fall over and just go,
you win.
I think that'd be funny. All right. That was it. There wasn't much in the comment section. However, you guys, for the algorithm, and you guys been throwing in for the actual game and everything like that, very much appreciated. It does help the channel because the AI algorithm hates me. And I am still fighting it as much as I can before I go to a members type thing. I don't want to. I really, really, really don't want to, guys. I think it's bullshit, or I should say, but I might not have a choice. Okay, before I jump into any video game news, yeah, I'll just throw this video. I haven't seen, I haven't seen the two I got sent by Guard, so here's one of them. Oh, that guy literally got domed, didn't he? And for some reason, this computer is taking for freaking ever to close things out. And yeah. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that, but on my end, I had a screen in front of a screen. All right. Now, for you 40K fans, okay, out there, I know we have a few. Yes, I know, Guard, you're one of them. For you 40K fans, you know how I said I kind of really fucked up the 40K story and I'm probably never going to repost it or anything on it? You know, I finally realized where I screwed up, and you can let me know if this sounds better. Now, and this is, I know we try not to do spoilers here, but I'm going to try and skate it as best as I can. When it comes to which humans had crashed on that planet, originally, you guys know I used the Sisters of Battle. Now, I might mispronounce this, but there's like Daughters of Redemption or something like that, where they don't wear their armor and they have like a psychic whip that their handler beats the shit out of them with. I think it would have been a much better story if the, 2 or 3 of these Sisters of Redemption or Redemption, they always get weird names. You know how they crash and only one of them's like battle ready right off the start. We'll have their handler be the most jacked up, and they only wake up towards the end, and and do a very similar layout. Like I said at the time, I didn't know the lore, and I apologize to you 40K fans. Maybe I got Henry Cavill listening, and maybe he's gonna be telling me that I fucked it up so bad. That being said, didn't mean to fuck it up. I just tried something, didn't work. Now you guys gonna have to let me know in the chat box what is it? Sisters of Silence. I think they don't talk. They only do all the I see you handle sign language and all that. Yeah, that wouldn't have worked so well because there was a lot of yelling and screaming and all that. Anyway, my idea was if I changed them for the ones who have to do penance by being basically cannon fodder when they were Sisters of Battle, which I think is bullshit that they got freaking screwed over like that, is when they actually crash landed, the medical technicians found that little doohickey in the back of their head that beats them senseless psychically, and actually removed it. So when it came up to the time for the psychic whip to hit them, they would have just like, oh my God, oh wait, that didn't hurt. And, just have everybody like, yeah, you mean this thing? Oh, we took that out of you. It was bullshit. That was sitting right on your cellular belt, and fuck that shit. So anyways, okay, I keep getting pulled in on that side, guys. So sorry about that. So anyway, oh, hold on. What the fuck? 1 sec. Okay. I thought I missed something. I didn't. So we're going to move on to the video games, guys. Unfortunately, I don't have the video games here. And
What? What the fuck?
and we got a $10 super chat from Skip. He says, chuckle time. My first ship, USS Hawkins DD-873, had a USS Ainsworth. I'm going to screw that up. FF1090 tied up against my ship. The frigate was no longer than taller. What? FYI, designations are arbitrary. Well, sort of. And by the way, Skip, I do have you a soundboard here.
All hands to battle stations.
I didn't know if that was going to work for you or not. So, and anyways, thank you very much, Skip. Very much appreciate. Thanks for being here. So on to the video games, guys. And I didn't get a lot of the pictures here. So I'm just going to be talking about now. Apparently, the video game that just came out, Marathon. Holy fuck. Just holy fuck. It got designed for modern audiences, and it has crashed and failed so spectacularly. And they were warned. They were warned over and over again. Don't do this. The people you're pandering to do not play video games. They would rather sit on Tweaker or X or whatever the hell you want to call it now and just freak out. They don't play video games. You got to aim at your target audience. You know, you got to do it right. But instead, I'm just looking at going, what the actual fuck? And it's just crazy. That's almost as bad as they're trying to make, I shit you not, you guys all know God of War with Kratos was a huge hit like maybe 15 years ago. And no shit, they're trying to make Goddess of War. And it
was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
And it's just like, what the shit, man? What in the ever-loving shit? No, you can't do that because there was only one god of the four horsemen that was female, which was pure, unadulterated fury, which they had to create for one of the God of War games because they were the four horsemen was war, famine, pestilence, and death. So, yeah. And they weren't going to use war because they already had a four horsemen of war. They weren't going to use famine because everybody looked at her and said, you're just a tweaker. And then they're not going to say pestilence because if she's diseased up, no guy's going to want to touch her. And they already have Lady Death. So what the fuck? Anyway, I just was looking at that, guys. And the first thing I was just, my jaw hit the ground. I'm just screaming, what the hell is wrong with you? Now, here's one that really got me. Capcom, as a company, and Stellar Blade as a game, are both leaving PlayStation. They're finally exiting the consoles. However, I wonder why they're going to Steam. Steam is having some serious issues right now. I mean, holy jumping Jehoshaphat, serious fucking issues. So, yeah. I don't know how that's going to work out. I know a lot of you guys love the Capcom games and the fighting games. Me personally, I never could get my brain wrapped around them. I need a first-person view, not a side view like that. And, hold on. I'm about to say the magic word. But I can't stop people from enjoying what they enjoy. Nor do I want to, really, unless it hurts somebody. But I don't get it. Why would you decide to just toss it away? Anyways, before I go down the rabbit hole on this, you have, let me get this right. Knight of the Seven Kingdom. Okay, these are all preset characters. We all know this from Game of Thrones. What did they do? They race swapped the character. They have got to stop doing that. If you have a preset character, you stick with the preset character. You don't take the guy from Witcher and replace him with, I don't know, Jackie Chan or something like that. Stop changing preset fucking characters, you fucking fucks. It just, why? And just, okay. Deep breaths. Still.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
They're not. It's just, why? I can't wrap my brain around why. I'm sorry for freaking out, guys, but just it'd be like me taking Martian Manhunter and turning him Blaze Pink. I mean, it doesn't work. It just, no. It's a preset character. You stick with the preset character. And then you don't even have to worry about a race swap on this next one, because they shot themselves in both feet and in the ass, and they decided that wasn't good enough, that they were going to friggin' beat themselves over the head with 1348 ex voto. I actually can feel a certain few of you rolling your eyes right now just at the name. As it turns out, that one came out, and shocker, no one wants to play. Everybody told them, do not go away from the original design. Do not go away from the original character. Do not go away from the original. And what they do, they changed everything. And now this is what looks like a little boy is actually a girl with that bowl cut hair, with the ring literally up her nose, so big, I don't know how the hell she eats. And I'm like, yeah, that happened in the 1300s. And then I'm sorry, this woman can't be 85 pounds soaking wet, and she's one arm swinging a two-handed broadsword. Absolutely not.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And as it turns out, when it's nothing but a woke pushing thing the whole time, no one's going to want to play it. So again, shocker. Want to smell it? Yeah. Yeah, that was just a disaster. Thankfully, on the lighter side, Knight's Path, the one that it should be coming out soon, has told the modern audiences to go fuck themselves. That's what they've done. They just go fuck right the hell off, because nobody wants to deal with you. It is absolutely crazy, but you know what? It is on track for being a very, very, very high selling game. So at least there's one bright spot, one that I could find in the past week. However, every dark cloud has to have a silver bullet. And when I say wow, I mean literally wow. World of Warcraft has completely lost its way. Guys, if I tried to get a hold of the actual video of it, and it was just no. It's not World of Warcraft anymore. It's a Sims game with a World of Warcraft skin. Okay, pure and simple, that's what it is. It's a Sim City now. It's so bad that it's literally make your house, make it as big as you want, decorate inside. Where's the World of Warcraft? Okay, you're not building ballistas. You're building a nice little cottage, and you're decorating it with candles and stuff. Oh God! I walk in, and all I'm thinking is,
It's a trap.
this is crazy. And no kid, I wish I had the video right now, because a few guys were actually playing, and they actually mimicked this one. They saw it was the second one. They're doing it like it's a Zillow ad, and they just went,
God damn it!
literally throwing everything to the side as well. They're just like, what the hell? And even Asmongold, I want to say Armstrong, but that's not it. Apparently, he just ripped them a new one. I saw part of that video. I didn't watch the whole thing, but just Even he was like, they're done. They're done. No one's going to play. They're going to cancel their subscriptions. They're not going to pay the last $10. You could tell the people are going to go in. Let me say this right. If you're a World of Warcraft player and you do not want to play anymore, be careful, because I guarantee you they're going to run this scam. They're going to say, oh, you still had an account, so you now owe us. So make sure you specifically go in, cancel, and screenshot that shit before they decide to take money off your credit card without you even knowing it. I have known companies to do this. Do not let them fucking play you, okay? You don't want to have this.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
No, and I guarantee a lot of people are going to be done. Because again, it's no longer Warcraft. What the shit? And yeah, that's the end of my notes on that one. I just my brain hurts, guys. My brain fucking hurts. And you know what? I'm gonna throw up this other video right here, and hopefully it's got sound, and we'll be right back. Okay, if I do any audio over that one, you do realize I'm going to have to get some cheerleaders doing a chant, because it looked like you were swinging giant pom-poms, motherfucker. Oh my God, what the hell was that? I know they like to be, all graphic and kind of look weird and stuff like that, but it was giant pom-pom hammers. That's what that was. I mean, what are you doing? Powdering his nose and powdering his butt at the same time? What the hell is going on, man? Oh, Chihuahua. Okay, on to the movies news, guys. Okay, the one that just came out that honestly I have zero interest in seeing, because as was in the comment section, in the chat box, yes, I was military. Yes, I did some time overseas. I am combat arms, and I was even a drill sergeant for a while, and a recruiter, and a whole bunch of other shit. So yeah, when I saw War Machine coming out, I'm thinking, oh, hey, another Iron Man movie, cool. And then I'm sorry, but as a guy who's actually been in the shit, I'm looking at this going, what type of shit am I looking at? Just what the fuck? I couldn't understand what the hell I was seeing, because they're out on a training mission. They've got no explosives. They got no ammo. They got, again, empty rifles and stuff like this. And suddenly they got to take down this friggin' alien tech that's supposedly way more advanced. No. Just by that premise, I'm looking at no. However, it is getting really good reviews. Is getting very, 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 very good reviews. So on that, if you were planning to see it and then you heard me say, I'm not going to see it, don't let me stop you. Go and see it. Go enjoy yourself. Go and critique it yourself. Make a whole video on how much you liked or disliked it, or however you want to do it. Get yourself some views and get yourself some coin that way. And maybe, but again, don't let me stop you from doing what you want to do. I personally just won't go watch it. I have been so disappointed with so many combat movies lately. It is sad. The last actual shoot 'em up movie I enjoyed, I think, was John Wick. Oh no, wait, Nobody 2. I enjoyed that one. It got really dumb at the end, but I mean, it's a shoot 'em up, guys. It's not meant to show any tactics. But by all means, go and watch it. Now, we all know the Star Wars movie, The Acolyte. No, wait, I said it right the first time. It didn't get renewed for season 2, even though it was supposed to. Here's the fun part. Season 2. Apparently, there was a leak. And people saw what was going to happen, and it's a good thing it got taken down because they were going after Yoda. I'm not even kidding. From what the rumor is, and of course this is just rumor that they were going to have him either sabotage a female of his species to make them fail so he looked as better, or sabotage others, or he was going to be lighting the loafers. And I'm just like, it's a fucking puppet, guys. Leave it alone. But you know they're not gonna. They're not gonna leave it alone at all. And just, it annoys me. They will not be content until they destroy everything. And you know what? I'm glad that whole thing failed. I'm glad it went miserable. And I hope all those stars, those actors, and especially the writers in there, along with, yes, definitely the director, the producers, I hope they all get lambasted. And they all have to shuffle their way out of Hollywood with their tail between their legs. Or, wait a minute, given the type of folks that are in Hollywood, they're going to travel, not with their tail between their legs, but something's going to be up their ass. All right, speaking of ass, Mando and Grogu. Nobody cares. It's literally, that's what everybody's saying. Nobody cares. There's no hype for it. Nobody gives a shit anymore. They've disrespected too much of the lore. They've disrespected too much of the set characters. They've disrespected the audience enough times, and everybody is just fucking done. Just done. And you know what? I was done with them by the time Soy Walker got, Han Shlomo or whatever, that movie came out. Just, no, I didn't even get to see it. Everybody said, don't bother. It was just terrible. And yeah, from what I saw, it looked pathetic. I mean, they disrespected Lando there. They disrespected Han Solo there. They disrespect everything. They just, what the fuck, over? And speaking of giant piles of shit, I don't know if you guys seen this, but there is supposedly a Frankenstein type movie called The Bride. I know of at least 2 different reviewers who said they had to actually leave. They could not stomach another word coming out of that chick's mouth in that movie. It was so poorly done. It is just strictly feminist, not feminine. I would have no problem with that. Okay. It's strict feminist, like power fantasy shit. And I'm just like, no, what? People don't go to anything that has to do with Frankenstein's monster and want to see that. It's just not how it goes. And that not only reviewers, but apparently entire audiences are getting up and walking the fuck out. I have walked out of movies before, and the one that always comes to mind is when I had a girlfriend who dragged me to one of those god-awful Twilight movies. I was there for about 10 minutes after it started, and I got up and I walked away, and I can't watch this piece of shit. Life's too short. And I friggin' walked out and realized me yelling drew a couple guys. And we actually just went out to the food court, had lunch, joked around and shit. Here come the girlfriends. They're all pissed off. Like, it was such a good movie. No, it wasn't. We didn't even watch it. We knew it sucked. So, now, as far as this The Bride goes, I can see why they wanted to make it, because The Bride in Creature Commandos, at least the most latest iteration, was done right. Okay, she was done right for the first time in a long time. And if you guys haven't seen Creature Commandos, the animated one that came out, I think it was like last year or the year before, you're missing out. It was done very, very well. It was kept very close to the chest. And yeah, they did the bride really well. They gave her her tragic backstory because you got to have one. And I really wish they would contact me. I mean, I don't even know who to contact, but if they wanted me to write another entire season of Creature Commandos, I'd have everybody just on the edge of their fucking seat. Because guess what? You guys know, if you've watched it, you know what happened to Nina. And I know of a way to bring her back without being absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, there's that. So, that's the end of my notes. And before I go into the chat box, I'm going to try and bring something up. It's first time trying this, guys. This was supposed to be the original opening video. However, I'm finding out that the starting video, again, can't be more than about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, which is why you only got that little bit. So I'm going to try this, and while this is playing, I have to run out and check something. So,
Actor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
That's short. Adjust up. Mantis! Look out!
I'm supposed to say he's behind you.
Blast him out of the sky!
Well, yeah. Good game.
Oh, I just got that shell right in that doorway.
Giggity giggity. Giggity goo. Stick around.
Let me climb the pole. I want to be a pole dancer.
God damn it, dude. I don't think we're gonna do this.
We still have 30, so we can still manage.
With enough people, blowing up a building can change the world.
Yes,
we did it.
win.
Finally got a win.
I have you now.
They're in our base.
Got it.
Emotional damage.
That was beautiful. Oh, I see him. Boom! One down.
And again.
Two down.
Enemy
coordinates have been sent to enjoying your booster shots? Well,
Here's Johnny.
I unlocked the door and ran out of it.
Yeah.
And armored vehicle is down. When the fuck did they arm A?
Don't fuck with Daddy.
B's the important one. In my opinion.
Well, fuck me sideways. Hold the line! Hold the line! Hold the line! You shall not pass!
Something to think about if you throw trash on Texas highways. Somebody up there is going to be watching.
Oh no, you did not shoot that green shit at me. I have you now.
Watch the birdie.
must go faster.
Inconceivable! Say hello to my little friend! Peekaboo!
Stay on target. Stay on target.
I have you now.
Watch the birdie. It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground! Don't try it! 1 o'clock! Range! 990! Armor piercing, loaded! Special delivery! Target this.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Gotcha, bitch!
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That last one, actually, the reason why you didn't hear anything extra is I had to pull off any of the music. I already get tagged or pretty close to tagged a lot with those. So we're going to move up here to the chat box and just to cover what Guard and Lena and all them were saying. Yes, I was in the military. I was in the Army, and yep, I'm an 11 bullet catcher. Actually, 11 Bravo 34 Romeo Papa. If you want to get real specific on that one. If you don't know what all those mean, don't worry about. All you need to know is I jumped out of planes and I swung out of helicopters and I did all the whiz bang shit. And part of my record is most likely covered in black ink. So there you go. But yeah, Guard saying military uncle. Yeah. And there is Lena with the destroyer in meters. Now, I tried to do that already to show it's roughly 280 meters long by, width, and by the X and Y on that is another, I'm trying to remember, it was like 31 meters, something like that. My math is off, and I should have actually been calculating while I was here. Anyways, let's see. Guard says, just got an amazing deal for $31 minus 17 because of my Microsoft account balance. I got Far Cry 6 with all the DLCs, something that would have been $125. Hey, save your money, get your shekels where you can, man. Definitely have the shekels where you can. Lean says, okay, Destroyer used to be the biggest class of ships before the release of the Reaper. Yes, the Reaper was considered one of the first true battleships. Or if you want to be, as far as science fiction is concerned, it could be considered a cruiser. However, I can't really say that because nautical, you guys have your own way of doing things. So let's see. Guard says, and I got the $31 about a steal right here. Yeah, okay. Yep. Doug is saying, so destroyers are giant flying space toys, sort of. They're meant to be fast, not meant to tank a hit. That's where cruisers are supposed to get in between the actual battleship and destroyer when it comes to the actual fighting, where they can't quite hit as hard as a battleship, and they're not quite as fast as a destroyer, but they can hit the sweet spot. You know, cruisers are, I look at cruisers in science fiction as like the heavies from Battletech. A lot of people think that the main fighting is done by assaults or super heavies, which is the next two higher weight classes, but usually it's heavy mechs are the game changer. They are the main fighting force, which is why heavy mechs are so sought after. Because they're fast, they're faster and maneuverable. They can get around the assault mechs, but they can still punch, usually above their weight. Let's see. Sniper here. Oh, hold on. Let me put this away so I can hit my soundboard. Says, the picture in the background is from the game Dreadnoughts. Yes, it is. And it's a very fun game, but it got discontinued because of how little amount of players it had. Yeah. I saw that. I saw a lot of videos on to play it. And unfortunately, I saw the videos while I was deployed. So it's not like I could download anything and actually play it myself. And the only thing I didn't like about the Dreadnoughts was the fact that a lot of their weapons were kind of, for lack of a better term, nerfed. And yeah, it is what it is. Oh.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
That is the SS Demon with a $10 super sticker. Nothing really to say. Thank you very much, Demon. And hope you're enjoying everything so far. Yeah, I can't even write. I'm trying to go so fast. As I have slow, smooth as fast, and I'm screwing it up. Thank you very much, Demon. Hopefully you can be here for a while. I know you're usually out doing your work and everything, but I appreciate you showing up. And I'm sure everybody else does. Everybody say hi to Demon. And let me just run back up here about where I was. Douglas saying, I have good news. I closed on a mobile home yesterday, and it will be delivered and sent in about 5 to 6 weeks from now. Excellent. Hey, always good to have a roof over your head. Always good. And I don't know if this is your first or second home, but I know those things aren't exactly the cheapest things in the world. But, you know, it's good to have. It makes me wonder, double wide or single wide? Yes, I know the difference. Oh, shoot. I got a picture here, guys, I wanted to bring up for when I did something familiar. This was supposed to be on the end, and if you know who that is, you know who that is. And I'm actually a big fan of Tim Hortons coffee, so I'm sorry. She could probably have a go at me for a while if she brings me the good coffee first thing in the morning. So, let me get back here. Steve saying how I did actually hit the mark on that. Good. I actually have to bring that to my writing group around here just to show them, because some of these guys, they try. They don't quite get it, but they're getting better, and it's better with an example. War Sniper, of course, saying how Sin took me off guard by bringing in Fiernan. Well, yeah. And I was going to bring him totally in, but I didn't think that would be a good idea considering what was going on. I can't do the spoilers right now. I refuse to on that. And Doug is saying his stuff's going to be set up by ADA guidelines. Well, I hope so. Got to get that certificate of occupancy and all that other fun shit. Guard saying, I'm having one hell of a bored day in this live stream, playing Plants vs. Zombies on Xbox while listening. Oh, jeez. And there's War Sniper saying how he was surprised Fiernan and the Kitsune wives, as in, yes, I was listening when you told me he has several dozen of them. And a certain someone sending me everything I need for the to continue on with that. Anyways, Guards up here says, oh yeah, thinking about Plants vs. Zombie is such a great game. Too bad EA killed it. I wouldn't know. I never played it. Oh, excuse me. War Sniper. What did the dragon say? Is that like, what does the fox say? Ring ding ding or whatever this is supposed to be? And let's see. Doug was at some point, Sin, I think that in something familiar, they would have to have a final confrontation with the summoning group. You know what? I can't say too much because we're getting closer to the end and I don't want to give anything away. And you guys are definitely smart enough to see through some of the stuff I do. So yeah. Erica, wait, why did everything go to shit? You said with freshly dropped back guano. Huh. Sniper coming back. I would not mind if Fiernan joins in on that battle after the MC tells Fiernan what is going on. I think his sons like to get a good fight. Has a moment of 1,000 children, and where our 300 are adults. Okay, so that's one of the things I don't think you sent me was the actual number of kids. I will keep that in mind. Usually I can only work on that story like once a week. And like today, I couldn't work on anything. I was just too damn busy. And tomorrow, the first half of my day is shot in the ass because I got to be outside boiling syrup. And I tried, God help me, I tried to write while I'm sitting there. The problem is there's so much fucking humidity because I'm boiling stuff off that I kid you not, I destroyed one of these notepads because as I'm writing, the paper is just shredding underneath. I'm like, fuck me. Actually, I don't want you to, but okay. And, you know, I'm just screaming.
God fucking damn
And it's just the whole time going,
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
see, Guard says, the name of the tank I'm using in clips is called AMX 10 millimeter, or 10M. And it is a air to ground launcher. And it's one of those tanks that was built during the time when Russia and France were both experimenting with shooting missiles out of tank barrels. Yeah, that usually doesn't work so well. It's actually a good way to cook your barrel. Because most of those launch tubes, they can't handle it. After a few launches, you have to replace them. They just cook. And then they get brittle. Let's see. Steve saying changing present characters is like giving Bruce Willis titties. Well, he did get kind of fat, so I'm not going to say too much there, but I definitely see your point. You know, just it doesn't work. And sometimes it's done for absolutely no reason. Okay. And I'll use the show Invincible. If you actually read the comics, the green character who dies off in the first like 5 minutes, why did they change it from a male to a female character? The character was going to die anyway, and fairly quick. Why did they change it? It made absolutely no fucking sense why they did that. It's just, you already had, you knew what the dude looked like, even if you didn't show what he looked like without the suit. Why? Why the gender swap? Doesn't make sense. Let's see. Lena says, did you know that Green Lantern has 3 humans on Earth? Yes, I did. White guy, black guy, and a black. Wait a minute. No? What? They changed the third one now. Well, there was supposed to be 3. There was the very first one. I'm trying to remember what his name was. God damn. Just sorry, guys. Just had a brain fart. Well, we all know the original one. He was that skinny pilot who was just a schmuck. Who, by the way, in the animated movies had the funniest fucking line when he just got a girl's phone number and the Flash comes in and switches it out really quick and he opens it up and says, outside now. And he goes, I'm going to disembowel you, Barry. And the voice actor, the way they drew him, it was just chef's kiss perfect. And it went really in with the character. Anyway. There was that guy, there was the Marine, and then there was Guy Gardner. I only know him because it made such a big deal that they actually tried to destroy his character to turn him into a douchebag. And when him being a douchebag, you find out he was a douchebag for a good reason, then they turned him gay. Why? He was dating the I think it was like a Bulgarian woman named Ice who had obviously freezing powers. Whose best friend was the Brazilian chick called Fire, who literally could set herself on fire. She was a female Human Torch. But it didn't make sense. I haven't seen the one with a black woman yet. That must be new. Okay, if they bring in a brand new character, that's not considered a race swap. That is a character moving into the position. That'd be like if Bizarro Superman took over for Superman. You wouldn't give a shit what Bizarro Superman looked like. It doesn't matter. So I'm not going to say anything about that if they brought in a new character. Let's see. Douglas says, even one of my ancestors has to be around 7 feet tall to use a greatsword in one hand and a shield in the other. Yeah. I have, the thing is, we have the actual no shit armory, maybe one county over from where I am. I remember going there as a kid. And even as like a 12-year-old kid, me holding up a broadsword, yeah, could I do it with one hand? And he's like, okay, swing it around. And he's like, are you tired yet? I'm like, no. And then he's like, well, hold on, you're not getting tired. He swapped it out for an actual 2-handed broadsword. Bonk, that thing went straight to the ground. I was like, just barely lifting that son of a bitch. Okay, somebody that small cannot just swing that son of a bitch. There's no. There's a reason why it's called a 2-handed broadsword. If you guys ever seen the actual Claymore, That's a two-handed broadsword too. Could you swing it one-handed? Yeah, but not very long. And this is one of the things actually I wanted to bring up. Now, I don't know if you guys seen the historical guy. He does a lot of medieval stuff. His name is Shad. He went over the that I forget the sword had a specific name. The one from Berserk. The one that's this huge fucking buster sword that he swings down. And Shad did this whole like 20-minute video saying, oh, it's impractical. It's this, that, and the other thing. It doesn't make sense. If you actually watch the way Guts uses it, he will either do a almost baseball swing where he actually has to swing to the point where he has to drop the end of it to stop the swing, or he brings it straight down and just uses momentum to cleave somebody. And Shad, it's like, I'm like, guy, you're supposed to be a friggin' expert in swords. What the fuck? I mean, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Why? And oh, I think somebody's coming in. Turn it off, will you? Thank you. Okay, it's Brian Kemp. And he says, enjoying my ship along with something familiar stories. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm working my way down to the end of those and we're on to something else. So like last week, I got a couple of, story ideas from you guys. And I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah. Nice joke there, Chris. I have a two-handed broadsword. Wink, wink. Seriously, you know, if you guys give me a second, hold on. I got to grab something. I'll be back in like 10 seconds. Okay, I'm back. And what is it we were talking about? Broadswords? Yeah, I might actually know a thing or two about them. Now, this one is more of a decorative piece, but it does have the sword breaker on it, and it does have a bit of an edge. If I use this hard enough, I could really fuck somebody's up. However, yes, I do know about swords. This one actually isn't a two-handed broadsword. One, the actual handle is just barely big enough. Two-handed broadswords, I'd have to handle it by the pommel because that's what it's there for. It's actually to help you with the twist. Okay, it's all about leverage. Giggity. Now, and I will say this, when it comes to swords, this right here versus a katana shows you exactly why a European knight would beat the living shit out of a samurai. There's not a single thing on this sword that isn't meant to hurt, maim, or kill. Okay. Now this one does not, since it's more decorative, it doesn't have the clean ends on the hilt. However, the hilt section usually is either for breaking the jaw or going into the neck. Okay. The sword breaker is literally to break the thin end of the sword. Okay, but that get hit here, you're probably getting your ribs cracked. This is going to cleave you in half. But the pommel is quite literally for that. That's why we call it pummeling people, because it's literally meant to crack somebody. It's not just for balance. It's actually for striking. Everything on a European broadsword is designed to be usable. It doesn't specialize in one thing, even though one thing is very good at, but it's also designed specifically to pierce armor because they're used to fighting knights. The katana is strictly a slashing weapon. It does it amazingly, but against any type of armor, it's pretty fucking useless. All right. So I had to go down that rabbit hole. All the way down the rabbit hole, people. All the way down the fucking rabbit hole. And I'm back out. All right. Let me scroll back up here. I don't know where the hell I was, but I'll find it. There's Sisters of Silence and all that other fun stuff. And okay, something about Bruce Willis and titties, but I think we covered that. Okay, everybody saying hi to each other and stuff like that. And let's see, Lena says, is Ray Soywoker also disrespected because of how Darth Vader is supposed to have 2 grandchildren? Well, the whole premise of her character is a disrespect. Everything they do, she is the science fiction, or well, I shouldn't say that. She's the Star Wars version of Captain Marvel, not Shazam, but actual Captain Marvel. And oh crap, sorry, I almost forgot to write it down. The super chat. Anyway, if you look at what they did, they're trying to overwrite all the like classic things that these characters do. Okay. When it comes to Ray Soywoker here, she's not even a Skywalker. She's a Palpatine for one. And all of a sudden she's better than all the Skywalkers ever were. Oh, so all the training they did means nothing, but because she's just a natural. She's the bestest ever. And then you got the Captain Marvel, the current one that they got going, which is just a fucking kick in the nose to anybody who remembers the original Captain Marvel. Okay, the original Captain Marvel, Danvers, I think her name was actually a fun character to watch. The thing is, she was, because of her powers, she was immortal and she would always be fit. She knew it and she flaunted it. She literally dressed herself sexy specifically to keep herself from getting her ass kicked a few times, because guys, if they want to fuck it, they don't want to hit it. And if they do want to hit it and fuck it, that's not something she wants to be around anyway. But you got the one of the classic scenes recently is when Thanos has the hand on Captain America and he's pushing him down. Captain America's on his knees and it's everything he can just to keep that hand from closing. Okay. And the weight from pushing down. And even Thanos is like, you're still fighting? Like, oh, the exact same scene plays out with Captain America during Endgame. And he gets her in the exact same position. And she just stands right up, pushes him back, pushes Thanos onto his knees, just about breaks his fucking fingers off. And he even like headbutts her and like hurts himself. I'm like, what? Just, where is it?
What? What the fuck?
And I'm just like, no, stop that. That's like America Chavez going back in time and punching the Fuhrer in his face right before Captain America does it. It was, wow. It was just such a line of bullshit. Okay, down. I'm coming out of the rabbit hole. I'm trying to get on the rabbit hole, guys. I'm sorry. I get on these fucking rants, guys. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Doug says Ray is disrespected because she is supposed to be a Palpatine. Yep, exactly. Just what I was saying. Steve saying, I just got a commercial on the live stream. Yeah, I had to do that because the algorithm, I put it on as light as I could. So they only should be coming up once every like hour or something. But I'm not getting a lot of eyeballs, but I'm getting a few. I'm getting you guys, which is awesome. I mean, every time I look up at the number, I keep thinking,
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Yo!
I knew it. I'm surrounded by
awesome people. That's who I'm surrounded by. You bad motherfuckers. That's who I'm surrounded by. All right. Guard saying, man, I really need to reinstall Battlefield 1 again and play with some of you guys. If I had time, I'd play with you. I'm a huge BattleTech fan and MechWarrior fan. I don't have it. I haven't even downloaded to this computer yet. So, but yeah, I could kill a lot of time playing those games. I don't, for a very good reason. Let's see. Steve saying, Sin, had to step out for a minute or two. Okay. Gar said, most of them are mine. Anyways, I sent, yeah, you're the majority of person. I think all the ones I have right now, my media assets that you sent to me, the only one I don't have in this right now is the 30-second countdown, which, by the way, I got to get, you know what? I'm going to leave that for now. And the, this one that was in the beginning.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Yeah, that little bit. Anyways, where was I? But yeah, you send almost everything that I have as guard. God damn it. Sorry, guys. Eric saying, so, Syntax, how did you like Carolina or Tennessee? Carolina wasn't bad. It gets awfully chilly down there. You wouldn't think so for south of the Mason-Dixon line like that, because I was in South Carolina at Fort Jackson more than once. The summers are fucking hot. Like, oh, geez. It's no wonder we have the immersion tanks, which is a barrel cut in half the long way. So it can, well, I should say up and down, top to bottom, and turn to the side, filled with ice water. And they got to dip their hands in there and they count off to 10. And then they raise them up, hold their hands straight up. So the water trickles down, hits the artery right here. And that cools, that's a hot spot right there, and then trickles down the side, and again it cools everything on the way down, and you just take your hands and wipe your neck when you're done, and that again cools off the carotid artery. A lot of these kids can't handle the heat. No wonder they stay out of the kitchen. It's crazy. It's just, I don't know. The kids nowadays, when I was a drill sergeant down there, it blew my mind. It really did. Within the first day, I had to have a class, the standard class, here's a weapon, here's how to clear it. I also had to say, here's how you address an envelope. A lot of them could barely write in print. Most couldn't write cursive at all. I had to write down the entire upper and lowercase alphabet. I had to do a class on tying your shoes. I had to do a class on making sure you wore socks for good reason. I had to do a whole class on making sure that you shaved right. I haven't even shaved in a day and it's starting to show a little bit. But regardless, I had to do that. I had to do a class, no joke, to the entire platoon, how to wipe your I'm not even joking. That's how bad it is. Because a lot of these parents nowadays do not raise their fucking children. They just assume that they're going to get all this from the school. And the school thinks they're going to get something from the parents. And it's just, everyone's just throwing these kids out, setting them up for failure, which is bullshit. Ugh. And every single time I'm saying,
you gotta be fucking kidding.
Every time I deal with them, ugh. And it makes you just want to scream.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
But you can't. You just kind of have to deal with it. And a lot of people are like, there's no way you'd have to teach them that. But then again, you're laughing going.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
All right, back onto the board with War Sniper saying, Sin, Farron has 40 wives and Farron is not the one that is the active one out of him and his 40 wives. To be honest, he has no free time, at least a few hours before one becomes handsy, and he has to calm her down. Yes, because kinsunes have that effect. Yes, if they don't get that effect from somebody that desires them, then they, being partially ethereal and being basically the Asian version of a succubus, they gotta get them some. Which is why, again, when the portal opened, and by the way, if you guys didn't understand why he kept shielding his eyes, remember it was at night, but on the other side of the portal, it's like the sun is right there, and all the pictures I was sent is very robust colors. So he's like, oh, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. And then he does what I was taught to do. You do this, and you're just looking through that little crack between your forearms, and it works really well to be able to keep the light out of your eyes. But that's when he saw the silhouettes, and I went a little more than 40, obviously. But anyways, Sniper continues saying, if you bring him in that universe, hold in mind the moment he enters, his fleet will automatically jump through the dimensional warp gates and hang above where Farron is and will cloak themselves, waiting till Farron needs him. Yep. And the sound is loud like that Covenant cruiser sound. Yeah, I'm sure it is. So the thing is, you've made the character a bit OP, and I got to be careful on that because a lot of these stories are specifically not to do that. So anyways, there's Chris was his joke about two-handed broadsword. Yeah, two-handed broadsword, I'm sure. See, Chris with, I see the schwar. I see your schwar. Oh, sorry. Oh, let me do this right. Oh, hold on. Where is it?
I see your schwar. No, that's not it. Crap.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Now let's see how well you handle it. As that, it's still a classic movie. Even if you didn't see Star Wars or Raiders, it's still funny. And by the way, actually, Chris, I want to know what you want for a sound effect. Send me an email or something if you have something specific in mind so I can do it. Because, Sniper was one of the ones that was on here already, but I got Brian, I got Guard, I've even got the Sir. That hasn't come off yet. I got Skip stuff here. I got Demon. I got Erica, and I got Steve over here. And that's what I got on right now for when you guys send your stuff in. If you guys want a certain sound effect, you got to let me know. All right. Let's see. Erica says swords. I like hand and a half. My personal favorite weapons are axes and hammers. Ah, so you're more the Viking style. Okay. Now, the thing with the axe is, unfortunately, if you miss, there's so much weight at the end, unless you're using like a hatchet, that it's going to you're going to be very, very off balance. And unless you spin around, that shield is not going to be where it needs to be. An axe needs to connect. Even if it connects on a shield, you're better off than if you just totally miss. That was actually, excuse me. That was one of the things I was taught when I first started learning swordsmanship. Is whenever somebody comes at you with an axe, is you want to sweep the first attack. Always, always, always sweep the first attack. Because since it's double-edged, you can just come back up. If you sweep it down, you literally just let the tip hit the ground and you come back up with the opposite side, and they're completely unprepared for that. And the first time I did it with training swords, right in the fucking kidney. I honestly thought I was going to start pissing blood. He hit me just perfect. I dropped to the ground. I'm just like, what the fuck? My whole side was just purple. Of course, that was my fault for not wanting to wear the chest protector. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. You sure? Okay. Whack. Okay, let me go put one on. After I was able to walk, Chris is here saying he likes the mace. Are we talking chained or unchained mace? Because the chained mace works the unchained mace works unbelievably well against armor. The only problem is it has the same issue as an axe. The hammers, are a little better only for the simple fact they're, one, not as heavy, but two, you have options. Okay, normally you hit with the actual hammer side to cause the shock injury. So, because there wasn't very little padding under those helmets and stuff. So you crack somebody across the head, you might not kill them, but you probably got them concussed. They're probably staggering, and then you can go flip that sucker around and just jab it into whatever area is open, nice, soft, and squishy. As far as the mace goes, just so much kinetic power. Oy. But me personally, even if I went back and that's all they had, if they said, here's a spiked mace, I'd tell them to go fuck themselves. I would never use a spiked mace. Reason being, they get stuck. They will stick in the very first thing you hit. Doesn't matter if it's a skull, a shield, somebody's armor. It does not matter. It is now stuck. It is useless. And you're not getting it out. Not easily. Steve's saying flails are pretty badass too. Flails can be. That's more of like a chained mace. The problem is, I mean, they're great for getting past shields. I mean, they are excellent for that. Because a lot of times you just aim for the top, and of course it's going to go over, and most likely whoever's holding the shield is going to crack them in the arm, and all of a sudden, what the fuck? And they're going to go down, and they're exposed. And if you do it right, you know that you've probably broken their arm, and if they're not pulled to the back immediately, they're toast, and their entire line's going to fall apart. The only issue I have with flails is a lot of times people don't know exactly how to use them. I know the first time I did it, I start whipping it around like I got to get this thing going. The chain was only that fucking long, man. You don't have to do that. You literally just have to bring it back and bring it over. It's a long movement. So somebody's going to see it coming unless you get behind them. At that point, I'd rather just have a chainless or solid mace. That's me personal. And yeah, the same guy who taught me riot control techniques is the same guy who taught me how to fight medieval style. His class was very, very, very interesting. That being said, he also freaked out when I dual sword wielded against him and won. He's like, how the hell did you do that? It's like, you're not exactly my first teacher. Although when I went actual like broadsword or training broadswords against each other, he whooped my ass so bad. I mean, just beat me into the ground. He knew his shit. And he was quick too. He was just insanely fast. See Chris saying, yeah, but a mace is for guys like me from Jersey. Yeah, from Jersey. It's like a baseball bat of pain at kneecaps and heads. Yeah, these guys from Jersey gonna take out your knees with a knuckle duster. I can't do the accent. Don't ask. I just no. No. Yeah. I don't know what I ate. Well, actually, I do know what I ate, and it's making me really thirsty. Okay, Lena's bringing us back to science fiction with Rey Skywalker, or Palpatine, is supposed to look like Leia or like Padme. And if people have said that they were searching the actress to play Rey that looks like those people, I would have beloved it. Yeah, well, the thing is, it was just, I don't know if it was the writer's room. I don't know if it was I know it was Kennedy. I know her and her ilk decided to change everything. I know that a lot of writers actually quit. They're like, this is bullshit. We can't write a single word unless this woman is here telling us what we can and can't do. And it has nothing the fact that she's a woman. It's the fact that she was a goddamn control freak. And yeah, I would leave too. I'd like if they had me over to write for them over in Hollywood, I would have it in my contract that producers, executive or otherwise, would stay the fuck out of the writer's room. You don't have a say. We're writers. We will figure it out. You tell us what you need. We figure it out. That's what we do. But as soon as the producers get in there, and maybe the director, but not the producers, they just need to shut the fuck up. And we're the producers. We're supposed to have creative control. No, the director has creative control. Producers just help people get what they need to get the job done. If you can't do that, you're worthless as hen shit on a fence post, and you can go kiss my ass. Or maybe kiss this one. This one's better to look at. And yes, if you look close, you'll actually see there's aliens on either side. Which is why I originally downloaded the picture. It wasn't just the muscle mommy on there. Anyway. Let's see. Eric is saying, a mace is the ultimate armor cracker. Yes. Actually, no, wait. It actually falls in, it's number 2. Number 1 is a halberd. The reason being is the halberd, you could, when you swing that son of a bitch with the hammer portion, you're putting a lot of force into that son of a bitch. A lot of force. I've held an actual honest to God halberd before. Damn thing's like 10 to 12 feet tall. And you what you're supposed to do is actually pick it up. You're holding it by the back end. Your hand is only about 6 to 8 inches from the actual ass end of this thing, because you're literally swinging down trying to catch somebody as they're coming. And that is the only reason why a halberd beats it, is because you can get more torque on it. As far as sheer mobility, oh no, the mace has got just, whew, it's just so much better. Me personally, I'd like to carry both, but hey, that's just me. I never like to go anywhere without, a little something in the pocket. This thing's been with me for 3 tours, and I still got it. All right. Lena's here saying, it's very easy to make fun of Yoda. Jedi Grand Master, is he a debater too? Is supposed to run an illegal drug cartel. Well, it's bad enough he was running illegal child kidnapping, because that's what the Jedi do. A lot of people fight me on that, and they fought me for years until I finally said, it's in the freaking book here. Read this part here, where they say they would search, they would use the Force, Luke, to actually locate this child. And if the parents weren't willing to give it up, they would just go in there and take it. And usually in the middle of the night, they would just make the kid disappear. And if the parents had something to say about it, they just cut him in half with a laser sword and call it a day. Saying, we don't care if you have any more siblings. We just want this one. And yeah, they can kiss the darkest part of my ass, the good guys. As far as him running drugs, I have no idea what's going on. Chris says, when in doubt, hit it till it's not moving. Then hit it one more time, just to be safe. Yep. That's why the whole thing of, somebody's in a combat zone. So why'd you shoot him 30 times? Well, a man's got to reload. The magazine only holds 30. Or why'd you shoot him 28 times? I missed twice. This is, and that falls down to, I'm sure you get, well, some of you, most of you, remember the old movie Roadhouse. And it has one of the best lines ever. It says, when somebody sticks a gun in your face, you got 2 choices. You can die or you can kill the motherfucker. And yep, that's about it. Okay, War Sniper says, the mothership of the Armada is, if I'm right, 8 times longer than the Avatar of Eve Online, and the middle body is around 4 avatars wide because it carries 8 Titans and 8 super carriers of a Nyx class. Exactly how many planets did you have to dismember or disassemble to actually get that much raw materials? Because when you get the raw materials, you're shrinking everything down. That's a serious, that's a lot of mass. I mean, Titan class ships are usually around the size of a moon, as in our moon. So what the fuck, over? Ugh. Leonid says, I prefer battle axes. Yeah. Battle axes are nice. The one thing people don't do with the battle axe is throw it. That is just movie bullshit. Why would you get rid of your primary weapon? It doesn't make sense. So, yeah. The yeah, I got no problem with axes. They work just fine. A lot of times, unlike a mace, especially a spiked mace, axes, if you get it into the armor and all you have to do is pull up on the handle itself, it will pry itself loose. And you're not sitting there going, son of a bitch, get off, get. No, you don't have to just leave it. However, if the battle just started, a lot of times they will just leave it where it is and draw whatever secondary weapon you got because you can't fuck around. You're talking, I'm sure you guys saw Game of Thrones when the guy was on the ground and all the battles happening around him and just shit's moving around and somebody's coming up to kill him and then somebody else comes out of nowhere and hits that guy. Then that's how crazy it gets. Very, very few actual combat zones will show you what it is. Believe it or not, the people that know this the most are the people that go LARPing, live action role play. And the one who taught me the broadsword, he was no shit. He did that all the time. And we went out there a few times, and that's one of the reasons I know that the chained mace is the best to get around the armor, especially a shield. Got me once or twice. Then I realized what was going on, and I actually started jabbing with that fake sword I was using. Boy, that pissed him off because we got so mad at this guy. We were aiming low. We literally aiming at his belt. So if we went a little low, we got him right where it's going to hurt. Might be mean, but he was one of those guys where if he was out, like the ref would actually call him out. He'd run around on the other side of the ref and then go after someone else. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you, dude. You get what you get. You don't throw a fit. Let's see. War Sniper saying, also, Fearnin has a bionic army that is Spec Ops army, so they are hella stealthy. They are literal ghosts, both on the ground, air, and Navy. Okay. Kind of ethereal. That's kind of an ethereal fuck you, isn't it? Doug says, the heat in Fort Jackson didn't bother me so much because one of my first jobs was working in a foundry. Okay, yeah, that'll do it. That will definitely do it. I do know when I was in basic training down in Georgia, and we were there I graduated late June, early July, and yeah, went straight to airborne school where it's called the frying pan area for a reason. It's, you sweat in places you didn't think the human body could sweat. And I went from somewhere around 250 pounds to 168. I was just skinny and in shape and holy crap. But again, combat arms, that's what happens. There's Draven with,
good evening, sinners. Sorry I'm late.
And see, Chris here is, there's a really bad windstorm here. Power keeps flickering. Should be fun night. Yeah, actually, it was supposed to be a storm coming in here, but apparently it's going to be a little late. And, it is what it is on that. That being said, if for some reason, you guys know, if the stream dies, I don't reinitiate. See, Lena says, I used to read Oregon Files books that are a lot Oregon Q ship. The fuck? And it's still probably my favorite ship in fiction. Yeah, well, the thing is, now I will say this, Q ships, some people say why, other people say why not. I'm a little tossed on the whole nautical portion. It really depends on when in history they were used. Now, as far as science fiction goes, every single ship is going to be a quote unquote Q ship. If they're not military ship, they're a Q ship for good reason. Is you don't know what the fuck is out there. You better be ready to fight your way out. Which is why if you guys heard me talk about the placement of the guns for the on my ship, the Sin of the Stars, one of the guns is actually facing out the back, specifically to if he's got to run away, he wants to be able to shoot back at whoever's trying to kill him. And but yeah, the thing is, when you're entering an atmosphere with a ship, that ship needs to be able to put the weapon systems away inside armored blisters. Okay, if I had the BattleTech dropship up here, the Rothgar dropship, then you would have seen there's actual little like bulbous little points there. Those open up, and that's where the weapon systems come out. Those are officially Q ships, even though they are military craft. It's just you can't have the weapons hanging out; they'll blow up, and it's just that simple. All right. See, Leah says, chain mace from Lord of the Rings. I'm trying to remember how long the chain was. In other words, the longer the chain, the harder it is to use. I personally don't care for chained weapons. I know certain people that love them. I'm not one of them. Okay. It's one of those things. How do I put this? It's one of those things where you think it's going to be a movie trope, but it's more interesting when you see two guys duking it out and this actually happens. One guy's got his broadsword. One guy's got the mace. The guy with the broadsword can't get through the shield. The one with the mace swings over and he wraps the blade. Can't get. Now these things are wrapped. It's a safety thing. So, but he can't get it out. And he's like, ha. And all of a sudden he just lowers it down, spike first, and drove it right in the, right there. Boom. Next thing you know, it's like, whatever. I mean, you pull somebody towards you, you better be ready for what's going to happen. I miss all that stuff. It was actually fun to get a bunch of guys beating the hell out of each other for a weekend. And I'll tell you what, I don't think women understand. We can get very competitive out there. Let's see. War Sniper says, elemental bow and gun scythe are my interference weapons. Elemental bow and gun. Is that gun scythe like the Final Fantasy gun sword? Let's see.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
That is another $10 super chat from Skip. And let me write this down real quick. And he says, Sin, please keep up the rants and rabbit holes. I learn more from those than I learn from other sources. Well, that's when I really get passionate about something. The problem when I go into a rabbit hole is this, is as you guys know, I'll get like halfway through a sentence and you'll hear me like adjust the way I'm talking. That's because I see another factor that's coming in. And this is one of the things that, as you guys know, since many of you guys are writing as well, that you have to see things from every single direction at the same time, which can burn you out a little bit. However, because of this, you can't stay on one subject without seeing what affects it or what effects it has on other things. So, and that's why it's easy to end up going from subject to subject to subject to subject to subject to subject to subject. And Erica might get a kick out of this, but this is actually the way women think, which is why most of us guys, if we're trying to argue a point and women go off somewhere else, it's just the way the wiring works. That's it. Okay, I see what you're talking about, War Sniper, with a gun scythe. I haven't watched Ruby, so I'd have to look it up to know exactly how it works. Anyway, thank you, Skip. I'll keep the rants coming. And I don't know where I was. Give me a sec. It's up here somewhere. Chain mace, Lord of the Rings. Okay, so I was right here. Erica says hatchets are my favorite tool. Oh, you're taking the heads off chickens, huh? And weapon all in one. Unchained mace are the other one of my favorites. Also, a good metal staff with a point on one end and a knob on the other. In other words, a Roman spear. That's the way they did theirs, so it balanced. They were the first ones to put a counterweight on the back of the spear so it wouldn't immediately, twist. The thing is, when they had their, not the spears, but the javelins, and yes, those are two very different things. The javelin was specifically meant to be thrown, but just behind the head of the javelin itself was actually a weak point. So when it hit, it bent. And that means they couldn't just pick it up and throw it back, because then the head would be bent, and when it come to hit you, you'd feel it, obviously, but it wouldn't actually penetrate into you. Giggity, giggity, giggity goo. Stick around. And right now, I'm trying not to sneeze. I hate that. You get a hanger one. It's right up. It's right up in there, and I don't know anything what to do with it. Anyways, yeah. When it comes to those medieval weapons, they had plenty of time, multiple generations to perfect that shit. And if it wasn't for gunpowder, the halberd was the actually most dangerous weapon, because it was a long axe with a warhammer on the back end, and you could use it because it had a spear on it. You could use it just as a spear. It was a very, 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 very functional weapon system. See, Lena here says, I might know a YouTube video that is based on the returning character joke, modern plantation owner that uses robots on his southern cotton farm. Huh. If you're talking about returning character, like I would do bringing Nina back in Commandos, oddly enough, there would be a very funny joke that goes along with that. If you guys say go ahead and say it, I'll tell you what it is. But I'm going to jump down here to where Steve says, edged blade, I'd go for a Gladius. Gladius only works very well with a shield. It's quite literally designed to be complemented with a shield. Without a shield, it's okay. It's an oversized dagger. It's a companion sword is what it is. Not to say anything bad about it, because the Gladius is a good weapon. Could it slash? Sure. But it's not designed for that. It is designed as a thrusting, stabbing weapon. And it looks like Chris is saying the same thing. It says shortcut and thrust sword, range is the real issue. Yes, absolutely. Erica jumps in, but they're good for close and confined fighting. Yes, abso-motherfucking-lutely. They are one of the best medieval weapons for up-close fighting. Believe it or not, I'm sure you guys have seen Game of Thrones, where Prince, whatever the hell his guy is, the guy who played Pascal is the name of the actor, and he goes into the brothel and he's talking to a couple of the Lannisters, and one of the Lannisters reaches for an actual sword, and he pulls out a dagger and shoves it through the guy's wrist. And he says, a long sword is a poor choice for close quarters. He is 100% right. And the Gladius is one of the best because it meets the range that you need. It's light enough where you can maneuver it, but it's also big enough to cause massive damage. So that is why in the middle of the Roman streets, it worked so well. Oh man, did it work well. It's honestly horrifying how well it worked. You turn a corner, somebody could literally shank you from the base of your ribs all the way up to the back of your neck. It was just yikes. Let's see. Lena's still talking about Farron. He says, when the fleet around you weaponizes, the pirates also have to weaponize their fleet, jumping from schooner to corvette to the frigate. I am talking about the legal pirates in the letters of Marquis. Okay. Now, The one thing about pirates that people don't know is the only reason that piracy was such a problem is because the government fucked up so bad. They made all these sailors during their wars, and when the war was over, they didn't give them any compensation. They just told them to fuck off. Now you have all these trained sailors, trained warriors. What are they going to do? They're going to take their training and their ability to do bad things, and they're going to make money on that somehow. So, that's where that comes from. Anyways, War Sniper says the mothership is a contract spirit of Farron. So zero, his species has all kind of spirits, from the ferry to the sword to a corvette the size of the mothership. And by the way, when I do the now the snow is gone, we're going to be able to get all the stuff to make the office. When the office is done, I'm going to be setting everything up to write it all out for the different types of ships, where they fall into as far as science fiction. The main difference between a PT boat and a corvette, even if they're the same size, is the fact that an actual corvette is a military designation, which means it must have at least one fixed keel-mounted weapon. The corvette on the Expanse, that is an actual military corvette because it has a massive rail gun that spits out high velocity rounds. That's how that comes in. But if it doesn't, it can be still considered just a personal transport. Chris saying, I found a copy of Galaxy Quest today. What are your thoughts on the movie? Well, I have it. I actually watched it a few months ago with my dad. He hadn't seen it in so long, he forgot about it. He's also a big Tim Allen fan. I think it's really funny. I think it's enjoyable. And one of the best parts, if you see Sigourney Weaver, when they turn the corner, she actually screams, "Oh, fuck that." But actually, they voiced it over with her saying, "Oh, screw that." And everybody noticed that she did not say screw. And yeah, I think it's a really good kids-ish type movie. Does it have a few parts that might be a little too much for really little kids? Yeah. But as a Trek satire, it did really well. The only other Trek satire that was good was Orville. That it was good. It kind of sucks now. It went woke and it decided to croak, and then it's going broke. Eric is saying how it's so funny. I hope you liked it. Yeah, I did like that movie. Very much so. There's at least one part that makes everybody like, I want a piece of these green motherfuckers. And you guys all know what part that is, because even the British guy lost his shit. But, you got to have something that's going to reach in, grab you by the chest, and twist. So. War Sniper says they had sorry, I messed that up. They had such strong spirits, but they all died to a meteor apocalypse that hit their planet. And Fearon is the only one left of his species, and the crystal in his tail are the soul stone. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Well, maybe I will. Eldurinace. When I actually record that, I'm probably going to record over that like 50 times trying to say it right. Eldinari. Okay. Leonid is here saying, Zinger was Star Wars channel that I watch sometimes. Honestly, I already forgot about what they had said about the recruitment of children in Jeddah. They started talking about it. They hinted at it in the Clone Wars TV show when they went and protected, I think it was a Gungan child. And I don't believe it was Jar Jar's kid. But anyways, they just showed that the other side was doing the exact same thing. And they try, as soon as that aired, a lot of people were like, oh shit, maybe we should not show this because it might make the good guys look like the bad guys. But in actuality, I've said it for 20 plus years. There's no good guys in Star Wars except for the people that are not on screen. And maybe the clones, because they didn't really have a choice. This is what they were bred for. You know, they were basically the Spartans. That's their version of the Spartans from Halo. It's what they were born for, what they were bred for. And, you know, on 300, they had that same line. I'm trying to remember exactly how it was done. Anyways, War Sniper Series. Oh, yeah, that's the continuation of. I didn't even see it. Sorry, man, I didn't scroll down far enough. Fallen Comrades and his very first girlfriend. Oh, his first girlfriend is in his tail? So basically she's on his ass all the time? Sounds like a girlfriend to me. Yeah, very sad background. Let's see. Continues. Yes, and you can visit the planet True Furin, but it's devastated. Okay. Let's see. I already read this one, War Sniper, about Ruby. Let's see. Steve says, so you think like a chick. Okay. No, it's not that. I'm still, how do I put this? There's a comedian out there, I'm sure some of you have seen it, where he talks about the difference between a man's brain and a woman's brain. And a man's brain, it's all in boxes, all these little boxes. If we want to talk about something, we want to discuss something, we take that one box, we make sure it doesn't touch anything, just that one box, pull it out, we open it up, and we stay with that. And then we're done. We close the box and we put that in, and we slide it back into place, making sure never touch anything else. But a woman's brain is everything's connected to here, to there, to everywhere. So the way I have to do it, because of what I do, I have to stay on the point, but I have to grab all the little factors around. I let the box touch all the different parts. So I see how everything kind of goes together. And that's why I keep telling you guys, if you're going to write a space opera, so to speak, with different cultures, different species and stuff, you got to write it down. Go through each single one, what they look like, what they smell like, what's their culture like. You know, are they aquatic? Are they mammalian? Are they this, that, and the other thing? How is a culture like that going to deal with this other culture that is, I don't know, reptilian, that eat fish and you know, whatever the hell it might be? Are they going to work together, or is there going to be this tension? You know, is there so much tension that they end up fucking or fighting? What's going on? You know, it's all that. And that's what I mean, Steve, by think like a chick. You got to take all the factors in at the same time. Unfortunately, and you guys will see this, if you have a young kid who thinks like that, who tries to grab all the factors, you'll see them have a hard time making a decision. It's a shame, but there's only one way I know of to get them to actually make a choice. You walk up and say, did you make a choice? No. Did you make a choice yet? No. Did you make a choice yet? Okay, go. Keep going. That's the only way to do it, because that was done to me. Leon says, the sniper rifle scythe combo for Ruby. My favorite. My precious. War Sniper says, it is a custom, I think you meant customizable height pack sniper rifle. Okay. I haven't seen Ruby, guys, so I can't say that. Erica says, children and easily accessible by people of all income levels. I think you're still talking about the Jedi thing. Yeah. Because let's introduce. They're good with the Force. This could be good for them, but I don't want to give my kid away. In one of the books, they actually talk about how one of the Jedi figures out where he came from. He actually shows back up, realizes that his entire family, father, mother, siblings, everybody, when he was taken, were sold into slavery. And he spends the rest of his time trying to find them all. He doesn't find them all, but man, he's pissed. Like, you're going to release them. I shall do no such thing unless you pay me. And then he pulls out his giant laser dildo and says, you got two choices here. You can release them, or I can kill you and just take them. Which one you want? And, yeah. One of the few times you find a good guy. Chris says, by the way, a shop not far from here where I live has an AR-16 chambered in 7.62, probably by 51. Or no, is it 7.62 by 39 or 51? That's a big difference. Made in the 60s or 70s for $1,200. I've never seen one before and have no idea if that's a good price. That is one of the originals, my friend. That's actually a very good price. However, if you're used to shooting a 5.56 out of that son of a bitch, you are not going to be ready for that recoil. You are absolutely not going to be ready. It kicks a lot harder. Because that's the thing. When Eugene Stoner created the original M16 rifle, it was meant to replace the M14. He used a lot of composite materials, plastics, and alike. And it was chambered in standard 308, which is 7.62 by 51. And then and then they're like, oh no, it's got to be, you got to be 5.56 or 5.56 round. Here's your NATO round. Designed after this. All he did was shrink the pieces. It's the same freaking thing, but it was originally chambered in 7.62. Now, if you open that son of a bitch up, the one you're talking about, and it's chambered in 7.62 by 39, in other words, AK-47 rounds, that is not an original. That is just one that somebody had custom made. And that is, you'd have to talk to an actual gunsmith to know if that's a good price, because I wouldn't know about that one. But as far, hold on, let me get it right. But I do recommend you get what you handle and can handle well. That's one of the key things. Me personally, whenever I was in a weapons shop and somebody's there trying to figure out what they want, that's the only thing I say is, does it feel comfortable in your hands? Does it feel comfortable up against your shoulder? If the answer is no, don't get it. Look for something else. And that was the same. I was sorry, got to go one more thing down the rabbit hole. I was actually at a range, zeroing in a 30-30 lever action. It's a Winchester, man, a Winchester. And this young girl was there. It was her father, and I'm guessing her boyfriend. And, she was, I don't know, 5'6". Boyfriend's like 6'6". I mean, he's just this huge, tall guy. And hold on a second, guys. I see somebody who's screaming, "For the Emperor!" As guard says, "I'm back." Dumb app wouldn't let me send anything again. Had to sign out, sign back in my account after 4 times, stopping the app itself. What the fuck, over? All right, we got you here. Thank you very much, guard. Appreciate it. I don't know what's happened. I don't know if it's StreamYards. I don't know if it's YouTube. I don't know what the fuck. Because if it's not one of you guys, it's another. Before it was Demon, and then no, it wasn't Fabian. Who was the other one there? I forget. Somebody else was having problems, and now they got you. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Anyway, thank you again. And anyways, when I was at the range and I'm firing that, the young girl was looking over because I just got that sucker. Fire, cock it, fire, cock it, fire. And she's looking at me like, what? And I was like, they're about to blow the whistle, but next time, if you want, you can fire it a little bit. Now she's learning. Her father's there teaching her how to use this AR platform chambered at 5.56. And if you don't know, I could fire that thing off my nuts. It won't even bother me. There's so little kick to that thing. However, the 30-30 has a bit of a oomph to it. However, when she ended up the next go around firing the 30-30, she loved it because a 30-30 was designed to sit in a cowboy's scabbard. It's very short. It's basically a carbine. And since she was such a small person, when she fired it, she just kept going. She was a pretty good shot too. And she just kept going until she was out of ammo. Her boyfriend, however, he picked this thing up, fired one shot, cocked it, fired another one, and said, I don't want, he literally just shoved it in my face. I'm like, dude, first off, open the motherfucker up. And of course, the father over there, he got all pissed off and had to tell him why that she liked it so much. It was because of the feel. And because of that, she could use it correctly. And that's all I'm getting at. I only know one person in the world that is actually comfortable with a Desert Eagle, and that's Michael Jordan, because his fucking hands are just, he's got these like spider claws for hands. It's crazy. As far as prototype or just something you don't see, it might be both. Like case in point, I got a cousin. I gotta tell him I want that 20 gauge bolt back. They used to belong to my mom. It's a custom build. Let's see, Chris saying, dude, trying to pronounce that, you got hamster dance Tourette's. You're right. It just, for some reason, it just wouldn't come out. I kid you not. In the last time I did my ship, there was actually one word I just couldn't spit it out for the life of me. I actually had to get up, leave, come back, and then I could finally say it again. I don't know what the hell was going on. Here's War Sniper again. You did have to read that. Fern's sight is blue, black. The one hangs beside him, and it's sentient, and Fern can summon it. Yep. Got that. Leonid, modern plantation owner joke is basically like there are no slaves, there are only clankers. Yeah, pretty much. If you grow, that's one way to grow some bolts, I guess. Let's see, Steve here with, I agree with William. Your rabbit holes are pretty good, mostly. Yeah. It's
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
No. Let's see. Lena says, from my point of view, Ruby borrowed a lot from the 1940s thematically in the first 3 volumes. I'll take your word for it. Are you just talking? He says, are you just talking about bounty hunters stealing children in the Clone Wars? No, it actually, the Jedi, if you now I got stuck on a guard tower with a guy who was a Star Horse encyclopedia, and this was one of the things he talked about. And then when I said, yeah, they're kidnapping children, he's, oh no, they would never do that. You just told me they did. Oh, but that's different. This Jedi are good people. They're just trying to save them, man. They're just trying to say, yeah, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, asshole. Ugh. I just, it irks me. It really does when people don't see the truth is right in their face, and they can't see the forest through the trees. They can't see their nose in front of their face. They can't see shit. It's like they got shit in their eyes and they just won't open them. Okay, Leonid says, the AK-47 is a weird gun system and sometimes classified as a small machine round because it's using a pistol round, I am guessing. No, how do I put this? The AK-47 came around because they were looking for something to replace the aging weapons they had, but they needed something cheap and they needed something reliable. It didn't have to be accurate. It just had to be reliable, and it needed to be able to become a full, true assault weapon. It had to be able to go from safe to semi to 3-round burst to full automatic. If it does not have those 4 settings, it's not a assault rifle. Okay? Anybody says, oh, they use an assault weapon. Yeah, I could assault you with my freaking hand. Does that make my hand an assault weapon? How about my shoes? Okay? Yeah, no. Now, the thing is, because the AK-47 was cheap, because it was just stamped metal, guess what? The U.S. had a weapon that the opponents hated because it was just a stamped piece of metal. It was affectionately called the grease gun. I'm trying to remember the actual title of it, but they kept calling it the grease gun because it looked like a grease gun that you grease parts with. And that thing fired a standard 45 caliber, 45 ACP, was far more reliable than the Thompson submachine gun. It was still an open bolt system, but it worked so much better. A slightly slower rate of fire meant you could keep it on target more often. It was just a better all around weapon system. It didn't jam nearly as much. Actually, I don't remember ever hearing the damn thing jam. But that's what it was. It was a cheap alternative to what they had. And it worked. You know, they say if it's stupid but it works, it ain't stupid. There you go. And the Reich hated people with the grease gun. They hated it because they're used to people with the Thompson. You squeeze the trigger, you blew through half your magazine. A couple of burps of that, and you need to change. With the grease gun, it's instead of, it's big difference. But by the time they release the trigger, they've already released like 3-4 rounds, and they're probably all inside you. And I had to do that because I just said I'd have something inside you. Anyways, especially since they're ball rounds, so the balls would be in you. Okay. But as far as the AK-47 7.62 x 39, that has never, to my recollection, ever been a pistol round. It's too bulky to be a pistol round. It's too fat. It's even if you single stacked it, your hands would have to be really big to get around it. I've never, ever once seen it in a pistol. If somebody has seen it in a pistol, actually production, not a one-off, I want to make a Franken gun, then send me an email. I want to look it up. Okay, looking over here. Erica says, Sin, you missed the top part about chained weapons. If you're a man trying to right a woman, get a woman to help. Many men don't right women well because they compartmentalize versus having craft room for the brain. And which is why I try to put myself in that mindset. Now, I could do the whole line from Jack Nicholson in As Good as It Gets. How do you write women so well? And let me. I can't do his voice. You guys know I suck at voices, which is why I love having this thing here
so that I can have
different voices.
This is on standby.
And I just ran through 3 real quick. It's like, how do you write a woman? I take a man and I take away reason and accountability. And I know it's a running joke. However, I should say, but it's still funny. But yeah, that's one of the things is at least when I try to write women, I try to get that in there. Now, I will say this, every single hard ass woman I know that is one of these exceptions to the rules, especially in a combat zone, they think in compartmentalized too. They don't look at all the extra stuff. They're extremely focused. And it's just crazy. So, you got to be careful. Situation dictates on that. Steve say, I prefer my 45-70 Henry. Hey. Or you could say the things that scare the shit out of people. My friend Wildy is coming. The Wildy Magnum from the Death Wish movies. Yeah. Let's see. Chris says, I'm a basic girl boss at the range using 5.56 and 9mm. Yeah, I'm not. My hangups with those calibers are very, very simple. I look at the 5.56 and all it is a 22-250 cartridge. It is almost exactly the same when it comes to the size of the bullet and the amount of powder. It's a varmint round. When I grew up, those were actually for picking off woodchucks at 350 meters. It's a varmint cartridge. If you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to piss somebody off. And I can say, long story short, we watched this whole thing go down through binoculars. Come to find out, one guy got a 5.56 through the fucking heart, and he still ran for a good 300 meters. Okay, if I hit something, I want to fucking stay down. The reason for the 9mm has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that the 1939 Germans, I can't say the name too many times, they wanted the 9mm because they found out that the 7mm that the Luger was originally chambered in didn't have enough stopping power, didn't have enough terminal velocity to actually put somebody on their ass. So they rebored everything, and they tried the 9mm, and they said that's good enough. If they kept going to the 45 ACP, automatic Colt pistol cartridge, they would have realized that just another couple millimeters would cause so much more damage. They finally cracked it. And not to mention, I don't know if you saw the chubby Electron guy, but he's right. When they wanted to find out what caliber worked, they actually brought cows in and they put the weapon against their forehead and they shot off a round. They wanted to see which one could consistently do that. 9mm, as far as I know, it only penetrated once. Pissed the cow off something fierce, but only penetrated once. And another thing with the 9mm, if you've gone through training, you know it's 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Why do you do that? Because the round's too goddamn small. Except for the terminal ballistics in the body, the ballistic as in range, as in accuracy and everything like that, 9mm 45 are so similar, it doesn't fucking matter. However, the 9mm, I personally do not like because you need to waste 3 rounds to take somebody out. Me, I'd rather just plug them to plant them. So anyway, Chris is also here saying, I also like the 38. Guess what? My dad used to carry one and my sister still does. Well, actually, she has the 357, and seriously, she could shoot the dick off a fly with that thing. I'm not kidding. She's actually number one in the state with a fucking revolver. It's honestly spooky. If you guys don't know and you want to actually carry a 357 and you don't want to burn through the expensive 357 ammo, you can just fire 38s through it. Now, if you don't mind something really heavy, you go get a fucking Judge. That thing is designed to fire 38, 357, and a shotgun round chambered in 410. That thing is a fucking beast. Okay, guards here saying, remember at one point it was all of us, and that was like 2 streams ago? Yeah. Guard says, it's YouTube itself. They're too focused on their stupidness, AI moderation bullshit, to actually worry about the rest of the app. Yeah, I believe that. Actually, every single creator I know is they're just dying on subscribers. It's crazy. And no matter what they do, they can't fight it. And here's the fun part. When it comes to the AI stuff, and it just irritates me so much. I used to like the HOA stories or like drama stories and stuff like that. And then I started listening close and I realized, yeah, they're all fake. And then I was like, well, what about the shorts where they actually show inside the courtrooms? And I was watching one, I'm like, wait a minute, something's off here. I'm looking on my phone. It's like, that's shimmering. It shouldn't shimmer. What the hell's going on? And they had a military guy in there, and I looked at his rank. There's no rank in the military like that ever in any of the branches. It's all AI. Everything's AI. You can't tell what's real anymore. It's crazy. So all the stuff we used to enjoy is now fucked. You know, unless you know that person there reading is real. And I just had this conversation within the past week. Somebody asked me if Net Narrator was good. Yes, Net Narrator is fine. He reads now he doesn't create anything, but he does read it. Just like what was it? Aqua Squirrels, I think his name. There's very few that actually are real narrators because there's so much AI slag out there. Yeah. Okay, back out of the rabbit hole with Chris here. He says, when deployed, I was a saw gunner, a M249 I carried and actively hated. And, it actively hated me. Well, see, that's where we differ. I treated mine like a fucking baby. I had that son of a bitch cleaned at least twice a day just to keep the sand out of it. I always kept in my pocket, I had a bottle of synthetic oil. So in case something went, well, in one case, popped open the feed tray, just sprayed the friggin' bolt, threw the rounds on it, feed tray down, of course, cocked it, started firing, and that thing was just smoking, but it didn't jam. The only time it jammed is when I overloaded the nutsack, the 100-round drum mag that's attached to the bottom. Yes, we do call it a nutsack. But I personally never had problems with my 249. If I could, get my grubby little mitts on one, I would. I wouldn't have the money to actually shoot the fucking thing because the ammo's so damn expensive. And for those of you who don't know, the squad automatic weapon, the M249 automatic rifle is a chain-fed, full automatic. There is no selector lever. There is safe and there's full auto, as in safe and I'm literally going to cut you in half, which is why they want to call it the saw. It's crazy. If you get one that's its timing is a little high, it can go up above 900 rounds a minute and you will melt the barrel. And I still remember being on the range. Yeah, we were shooting, the 240s were shooting, and it was so bad that some guys were just leaning forward, lighting their cigarettes on the barrel, putting them in the mouth, and just keep going. Actually, one of the times I saw that was the same time we stopped, and they're like, quick, reload. And it's like, they're like, how many assholes do we have down on the range? And we just kind of leaned over, yo. And somebody just yelled, keep shooting, assholes. And we quick reloaded, and they're actually popping up the targets. But yeah. Anyway, let's see. Guard says, I've been fighting the app all week with not turning on closed captions. Every goddamn time I exit out of the app or turn off the phone screen, it seems that when doing all that stopped. For now, at least, I wouldn't even be surprised if it starts doing it again the next day. Yeah, I can't get the captioning. At least on my phone, I cannot get the captioning to come off at all. It doesn't work. Okay, Linus here says, I probably know a Star Wars channel that writes Star Wars fan fiction. All the stories are really silly. The problem with that is, thank you, Kennedy. Not the good one. This one's a bad one. She has clamped down on all the fan fiction for Star Wars. In other words, if you make any movies, even if it's just a sketch drawing by hand and you're doing the audio behind it, they will fucking sue you. Like instantly. They will be up your ass so far they'll know what you're thinking. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. And it's a shame because a lot of the fan fiction is just better than the movies. Just so much better. And anyway, down here, Chris says, I prefer the M4A1. In other words, the original M16, the first carbine of the M16 models. So, and M4A1s, if I remember correctly, they did have selector levers of 3-round burst and full auto because that's what I was using in basic training. And I still remember when we had to go to the range to learn how to shoot with a pro mask or a gas mask on. And I surprised the shit out of the drill sergeant. He's like, holy fuck, you learned how to shoot. Yes, drill sergeant. As I'm reloading real quick. And I'm literally popping every single target. Actually, in one case, I yanked the trigger. And you're not supposed to actually pull the trigger. You're supposed to squeeze it. But I pulled too hard, and the burst went and hit 2 targets. I'm just like, okay, I'll take it. He thought I was being a smart ass. Oh, no, I screwed up. But I failed successfully. Guards up here saying, I was really hoping to get held RS2 when I got my hands on the Xbox series. But after some of the recent events that happened, I don't want to be anywhere near that community. Iris 2? I'm not. All I know about Xbox is they went to a subscription model and everything is direct download, and they control the servers, and you are basically a renter now. And I'm like, I am going to buy a video game. If I'm not going to buy a video game, I'm not going to actually buy anything. I'm not renting shit. If you're going to force me to rent, you can find the darkest part of my ass and kiss it repeatedly. And Guard continues with, so one guy on Reddit, of course this started on Reddit, had made a post saying that he would donate $1,000 to a cancer therapy if the devs would play on a specific map on the hardest difficulty that a lot of players have that stated is completely unfair to play on. Why do I have a feeling they chicken shitted out of that? And he says, the Helldivers 2 community fucking doxed him. That's not cool. And if that's just the minimum, they got him fired from his job. What? They got him fired and banned from coming there after they called the kennel. I guess he worked at the kennel. He worked at 387 times an hour and threatened to firebomb the place. What the fuck? They destroyed his life because he thought a map on Helldivers 2 was unfair and wanted to prove everybody right by having the devs play it. And the devs pretty much said, no bullying everyone. In other words, go bully the shit out of them. Yeah. That's some bullshit. Oh, we got Steve up here. He says, the AK is only slightly smaller than a 308 round. Maybe in diameter, but not in length. No, an AK by 30 or 7.62 by 39 is really stout. If I had time to go and grab something out of my closet right now, I'd show you the difference between the two. And this, you're looking at a pretty, well, actually here, one's at least 40% longer than the other. And there's a hell of a lot more kick in the 308. Let's see. Erica says, I have both brains. It's hard for me. At least I know when I use them for the most part. And that right there, again, just be careful the indecision doesn't bite you in the ass. It's all I'm saying. I got caught up in it. I don't want anybody getting caught up in that shit either. Now, the thing is, if you think both ways, you'll catch things that people think you miss. Kind of a bonus. So, it's one of those trade-off things. You're going to be better in certain areas and not good in others. It is what it is. Lena says, I think Russians use 7.62 millimeter round for their Imperial pistols. When Russians wanted to create a new pistol, they needed to cut off the barrel from the rifle. AK-47 shares the same ammo dimensions. I'm going to have to look this up because I've never once heard a 7.62 by 39 used in a pistol. I could be wrong. Now, if you're looking at one that's a front-loaded magazine on a pistol, like some sort of Tech 9 piece of shit, then maybe. But I don't see you wrapping your hands around basically an AK magazine. Because, again, it's got to be made bigger because the magazine's got to go into the handle. Guard, everyone's brain has two sides, right and left. Let's see. all that I remember from Leonid. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I see what you're getting at, Guard. Guard saying, my brain has two sides. One's fucking retarded. The other side is also fucking retarded. That's funny. Oh, shit. Okay, War Sniper says, Sin, I have the B1 Lancer in my game. Okay. The Bone. You know, B1 as in B-O-N-E. Yeah. Chris saying, my saw had a cycle feed issue. It sounds like your feeder paws were messed up. If you're the things, they'll function with one or two of the springs being a little loose or even missing. But if all of them start going bad, it's gonna just turn to shit. And yeah, you know all about the melting barrel. We had one. Here's a barrel story for you guys. Now, I was deployed. We got the word that our guy's in contact. Now, we had just taken over this fucking area, and we're actually sitting on a bridge. And as we pull up, we see the 50 is just going absolutely nuts. And we got to actually get on the other side to get up the hill. So we can't. That's in front of where he's shooting. And they're telling us, do not get in front of us. We got 50 firing. We got the 25 Mike firing. We got guys on the line firing. Do not get ahead of us. So we're like, okay. And we go up, and no joke, it's at night. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? And we can actually see the barrel glowing. Now, it's not dark night. It's lighter. I don't know how else to say this, but and every time it fired, you could actually see it pulse heat and then kind of go down a little bit, then pulse again, down a little bit, but it pulsed even more each time. And that thing was hot. And as soon as they were done, you see one guy go up there. He had both gloves from the 240 gunners. These are asbestos gloves that don't burn. And he ran up and he starts twisting the barrel off the 50 cal really fast. And we're sitting there like, and I'm driving the Humvee. So I'm like, what? They're like, turn on the white light. So, okay, white light, turn on. He chucks the barrel towards us. There's a little creek I didn't notice. The barrel lands in the creek. We see a small burst, which I'm pretty sure was the barrel exploding. And then running water is boiling. I'm going to say that one again. Running water was boiling. That's how much heat was coming off that barrel. I am amazed he didn't cook off a fucking round in his face. I am absolutely astounded. But yeah, that's one of those things where they just say combat loss, send us another one. That was just chihuahua, just yikes. I seen one where they unscrewed the barrel and the barrel was like warped a little bit because it got so hot that the weight had just gone. They unscrewed. They literally just threw it on the side of the road and said, "We can't do anything with it. Fuck it." Okay, Sniper says, and now Steam Helldivers 2 is being downvote bombed hard because of that shit. Well, I would think so. They want to fuck people over like that. You don't fuck over your customer base and expect them to stay. This is what I keep telling people about having a small business. If you have a small business, your life is that business. You can't go anywhere. Your life is that business. That's like if you're on a farm, your life is that farm. You can't go away. You have animals that depend on you, which means if you have a small business, you have customers that depend on you, and they won't be there when you come back from vacation if you piss them off. You know, your animals will run away and so will your customers. It's just the way it is. All right, Steve's out. He's yeah, we're all glad you were here, Steve. It's a good thing you were. And it looks like yep, Alan's out too. Looks like everybody's pretty much done. It is 2100 here, actually 9:09 if you want to be specific, PM over here on the East Coast of these United States. And though it was interesting, it was a good time tonight, but we're just about done here. So I'm just going to throw this up here again. Make sure you are still subscribed, guys. I just got like 3 more messages in the past week. Somebody said, "What did I do?" They got unsubscribed. I didn't do a fucking thing. It's YouTube. So just make sure you're still there. All right, since nobody else is jumping in, you guys know what time it is. It is time for the safety brief. You guys know that if you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If your buddy wants to drink and drive, beat their motherfucking ass. It's a whole lot easier to explain to the cop why you broke your buddy's nose than it is to explain to his wife why he broke his fucking neck or broke his leg and can't work or something like that. You know, it's just bad times on that one. If the little soldier is going into the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. It's wet inside the bush if you know what you're doing. And hopefully you know what I mean. Also, you guys know we're not out of the woods yet when it comes to it getting cold at night and the rain's going to come down. Just be aware on the roads. You're also going to have some very hungry animals running across. Be careful. Just be careful. And some of these folks, for some reason, after a long winter, have forgotten how to fucking drive. So again, be careful out there, guys. Make sure everything's topped off in case we get another cold spell. Make sure you have your extra water, extra food, all your, if you're going to have a propane heater, make sure you have everything for there. And if you are running propane, make sure you have a carbon monoxide detector. Absolutely, absolutely need one. So on that note, guys, also, if you're doing anything stronger than alcohol or cigarettes and you're doing anything stronger without me, you're doing it wrong. All right. On that note, guys, one of these times I'm going to actually have to have a outro video and I will get working on that. And until then, all you take care and I will see you next time on Syntext Live.